Hi folks, just an intro to this vlog. This is a vlog, what you're about to see is what I did on the 20th of January 2021. It's basically my thoughts on Trump's presidency, some thoughts on Trump's presidency and the end of it, thank God, and what to maybe expect with Joe Biden. So enjoy. Hi Instagrammers, hi YouTubers, hi subscribers, how are you? Well, Joe Biden, as I was just listening to on my lovely radio over here, has now been inaugurated as the 46th president of the United States. So Trump is now gone. The question is this the end for Trump? Will he disappear? No, probably not. As he hinted in his farewell message on the plane on his way out to Air Force Marine One on the tarmac at the White House, and then to an Air Force base, but I can't remember which one it was, in Florida, I believe, he made a statement where he said, basically, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back in a different guise, in a different form, but I'll be back. So what will he be back as? Well, he'll be back as someone sniping from the sidelines. He'll be back as someone who is a dominant power in the Republican Party. He may force primaries against Republicans who are anti-Trump. He may push and now go ahead with going forward to run in 2024. I don't think he will, because I think he'll be a bit too old by then. But this is where Ivanka comes in, and Ivanka could be heading towards the Senate or Congress seat, House seat, later on for a run for the presidency, maybe in 2024. The elections to the House and more elections to the House and Senate take place in 2022. So next year, I believe it's next year. Some seats are up. It could swing back again towards the Republicans, depending on how Joe Biden fares in the next year or so. Trump could go on and open up his TV station, his new news network, to rival Fox, to uplift his platform and make it more louder. He could go into other forms of television. He's still going to be around, and he's still going to have a presence. Even if he's not on social media or any of those platforms, he still has a voice. And if he creates his own TV network, again, he will have a voice, because he may have a show or he will appear on the station. So there are ways he can get his message out there without necessarily having to be on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. That's the danger. He can still get his message out there and he can still have some influence. But he does have influence. Any president who loses polling nearly 75 million votes has a base to start on for another election, or to set somebody up to take on that base of electorate into another election. So he's going to be influential, possibly in the Republican Party, for a long time to come. Thank God he's gone, though. At least for the next 4 to 5 years, he can't do any damage like he's done for the last 4 to 5 years. Trump is not the harbinger of America's division. America has been divided for a long time, and it's been growing since the 90s, the late 90s into the noughties. That division has been getting exasperately more and more and more as the decades and years have rolled by. It really, you could see it started with the Tea Party and in the Republican Party, and that Tea Party was then jumped on by Trump, and Trump rode the bandwagon of the Tea Party and this very right-wing view of politics in America. He rode that bandwagon, but then eventually the bandwagon became him, and so he became the bandwagon, and so now all the emphasis is on him and what he will do next and what he may do in the Republican Party. But he's gone. So he's not going to do any. He can't divide the country any more than it has been, or any more than it is. I'm hoping Biden can bring the country together in some way. How, I don't know, because he's a corporate Republican Democrat, and I say corporate Republican Democrat because he's not a progressive. Biden is not a progressive. He is very much a corporate Democrat, and many of his views on social security, on crime, on welfare are fairly right of centre. What will he do as president? Maybe if the left in the Democratic Party can put pressure on him, and with the squad which has now been expanded because of the votes in the House for the House during November 5th, I think the presidential election was, the general election. The squad is expanded, so there's more of them, so they can put a little bit more pressure on Biden to sort of faint left, at least faint left, on issues like climate, for instance. Very important, climate. He's going to roll back on a lot of the executive orders Trump introduced. So as a trans woman, I'm pleased about that. I'm hoping the trans ban on trans folk joining the military will be lifted. I'm hoping that a lot of anti-LGBT executive orders that he enacted will be scrapped, rolled back and changed, and the administration will become, in that sense, socially more progressive. By any of you who listen and watch people like Carl Kalinske in Secular Talk, or Jamal Thomas, or even Jimmy Dore, know that it's not going to be the sunny left-wing progressive uplands that the Bernie Sanders and maybe some Elizabeth Warren supporters were hoping for. It won't be like that. I would be surprised if they push for Medicare for all as a proper platform, a proper universal healthcare in America. I'd be surprised if that happened. Whether there'd be progressive legislation on drug legislation, maybe. There's been nods in that direction, possibly. The states, a majority of states in the US now have some form of legalization or medical marijuana on their books. Oregon has gone the whole hog of decriminalizing them right off the bat. Biden could follow suit. He could do some legislation there. He could do some executive orders. He could push the Democrats to come together in the House and the Senate to push progressive legislation on drug issues. Will he? In my opinion, I would be surprised if he went the whole hog like Oregon has done, but maybe there may be some progressive issues there. As I've said, Medicare for all, no, I can't see that happening, because Biden's already made it clear he wouldn't even sign for it if it come to his desk for a presidential vote, presidential signature. He's already said he wouldn't do it then. So maybe not universal healthcare for the Americans as of yet, but who knows. The one to watch is Kamala Harris, the vice president. She will basically be in charge of the day-to-day running of the presidency, because it's fair to say there has been a slight cognitive decline in Biden since he was vice president. People put it down to his stammer, but I don't think it is. I think he's getting slower in his old age. I think that's basically what you could say, to be fair. He's getting slower in his old age. As of how long he'll last the distance, I believe Dave Rubin has said he'll quit his media posts and go quiet and disappear into the ether if Joe Biden completes his 4 or 5 year term as president. I kind of hope Biden does, just for that, but I don't think he will. I'd be surprised if he lasts the whole term. I would be surprised, but we have to wait and see on that front. But Trump has gone, and for now, and with the silencing on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and with all his silencing on social media platforms, which you can agree with or you can't agree with, or you can say he was inciting people and dividing people, he was spreading hate, malicious hate. Free speech is free speech, but even I am uncomfortable with some of the things that people say online, especially when it's directed at vulnerable people who don't have a voice of their own to defend themselves with, or a platform, or a support group, or anything like that. But Trump is going, and he will disappear for a little while. He will be seen by the majority of Americans as a loser, so maybe if he did try and run in 2024, he wouldn't be so, as I say, popular with a lot of people, and maybe the same majority of people would turn out to make sure he didn't get re-elected. But then maybe he'll get impeached by the Senate, and they'll take his ability to stand for any form of political office again in the United States away from him. That would be good. But Ivanka is there, and she could run. And that's where I think some of the emphasis will be on. And Trump has the Republican Party. He can primary candidates in the Republican Party if they don't follow his line, or he can put pressure on the leadership of the party to go in a particular direction. There will either be a quiet behind the scenes fight in the Republican Party for this dominance, or there will be a complete and utter public spat and bloodbath on the American political scene for the next 3-4 years, as it turns out, whilst the Republican Party realigns itself for the next presidential election and for the Senate and House elections in about a year, 2 years time. But he's going, and he won't be president at least for another 5 years, and that's something to be thankful for. I think it was too much. It was driving me nuts, and somebody more competent than Trump can be elected again, and that's what America needs to watch out for. Somebody who has fascistic tendencies like Trump could be elected again, and they may be more competent, and that's what America has to watch. That's what they have to watch out for. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm sorry it was a sort of weird vlog, but I felt I had to make it in light of what is on this momentous day, the end of one presidency and the beginning of another. I don't know how it'll go. We'll now wait and see for the next 4 to 5 years what develops, what progressive or non-progressive policies Biden comes up with, and how Trump handles it all from the back pages of retirement back in Florida. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon, guys. Bye.